Pregnant pause. Pregnant pause. It's been longer than I thought it would be. So, welcome back. This took me so much longer than I thought it would. I thought I would be able to get this build done really, really quickly because I had so much freedom with it. But turns out having a lot of freedom makes things a lot harder. Something that I should have learned from attending university. But yeah, I had one reference for this whole build. Two, if you count the fact that the character has money and that informs what I did. So obviously this is Cordelia's house. And in Angel, you get to see Cordelia's apartment a lot, and I do plan on making Cordelia's apartment in Angel eventually. But her house that she had when she was on Buffy, you only ever see there's one scene ever in her whole house, in the whole show. So I only had that to go off of, and the fact that Cordelia's family has a lot of money. So I had to base this on what people who vaguely live where they live, who have a lot of money, what their houses look like. So I ended up sort of basing this on a house that I found in Santa Barbara. I basically looked up rich people houses in Santa Barbara and found a house that is sort of like this, but I also wanted to make it its own thing. Because I'm pretty sure Sunnydale is meant to be roughly in Santa Barbara, so I tried to sort of go for that. And the only thing that was restricting me was what Cordelia's bedroom looks like in the scene where we see it. Which just made this really hard to build because I'd just be looking at all this empty space, what do I do with this? She doesn't have any siblings, so I can't just add another kid's room. I don't know what her parents are like, apart from the fact that her father gets in trouble for tax fraud. So this was a challenge. I'm actually quite pleased with the end result. I think it's a good looking house. And overall I did enjoy making this. But I'm not going to pretend that I didn't find it hard, because I did. Just because it was so open to whatever I wanted to do, and because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, it took me so long. Couple that with the fact that whenever I finish making a video and I edit it together, I just sit and look at it and think, I only have to talk about this for 20 minutes. I have to think of things to say. Luckily, I've just managed to spend a few minutes talking about how difficult this was to make. But that means that I now have more time to fill, and I figured I would just talk to you about how much I like Cordelia Chase. Cordelia is probably one of my favourite characters in the show. I basically loved her from the first time I watched the show, and it took me a while to watch Angel after I finished watching Buffy, and I'd rewatched it quite a few times. But I just sort of put off watching Angel for a while because I wasn't the biggest Angel fan, but I was really missing Cordelia, and then I ended up watching it and I was like, Cordelia's great, and then anybody who's seen Angel, yeah. I'm a really big Charisma Carpenter fan as well, so yeah, Charisma Carpenter fans and Charisma Carpenter herself, it's not an easy ride, you're enjoying yourself and then you're like, oh, But yeah, so I got to interpret what, not how Cordelia would decorate a house, but how the people who raised Cordelia would decorate a house. I tried to not make it too modern, because it's not supposed to be modern. It's supposed to be something that someone would live in the 90s, so I tried to limit the vast amounts of technology that rich people would likely have in their houses nowadays. So as far as I can remember, I don't think I put a huge flat screen TV in, although I might have, and just thought, if anyone's gonna have one, it's gonna be Cordelia Chase. But I generally try to keep it that sort of rich people aesthetic, where it's all very sort of plain, but in a way that says we have a lot of money. As you can also tell, I struggled with what colour all the wood was going to be, because I am personally a fan of dark wood, but then I thought, no, these are rich people in California. They want a light wood so that it feels light and airy and nice. But yeah, it got to be nice and rich looking. I mean, I'm sure it's I feel like it's far too poor looking for the Kardashians or someone like that. But I still think it looks sufficiently fancy for Cordelia, because while she may not be a Kardashian, she's definitely very, very wealthy and lives in California, so she's got to have a really nice house. Also, so far this is probably my favourite kitchen that I've made, just because everything managed to be contained into a semi-small space, and it looks sort of lived in, but not too lived in. I do quite like this kitchen. Not that you can see it very well, because I didn't put lights in until right at the end. I wasn't thinking about the watching experience of this, but yeah. I've also decided to actually use proper techniques of getting things on counters where they wouldn't usually be, rather than just the locked in positions. I don't know how to refer to those, but the places on the counters that are preset where you can put things, and if the counter's already there, you can only put them there, so you have to place them without the counter there and then move the counter under it. A lot of the time I'm just right, whatever goes on the counter, and it sort of test out the lock position, see what looks best. Oh yeah, I did put on a big TV, but you know what? Maybe Cordelia's dad works for a tech company, and they got early access to flat screen TVs. Yeah, that's what it is. I didn't just ignore the fact that this house is supposedly being lived in the late 90s. Absolutely not. Because all the other houses don't have this sort of technology in them. But this one does. Yeah. I also feel like I can make an excuse for this coming out late, and the fact that I attend university. I have other things that I need to be doing. And this is definitely a thing on the side because I don't have a set upload schedule. It's a blessing and a curse not having a set upload schedule, because it means I can put things out whenever I want. And it also means I go, oh, I can put things out whenever I want, so I can also just not put something out. Yeah, we're going into Cordelia's room now. The only room that I had a reference for, and I couldn't even stick to that reference because I had to swap swap the room over. So in the scene, I think like her dress is on the other side of the room, but because the windows were there, I just had the dresser be on the opposite side. But yeah, so you don't get a nice long lingering shot of her room where you get to see everything that's in there, unfortunately, which I really wanted because like you get to see Willow's room from so many different angles, and you even get to see Xander's room from loads of different angles. But Cordelia's room, it's literally one shot, and you sort of see a corner and her bed, and that's it. You really don't see a lot. So I had to go by what I saw and invent a room for her using the modern furniture from The Sims that definitely wouldn't be in her room, but it is now. I feel like she'd definitely have just a whole wall of clothes. She'd likely have a sort of walk-in closet, but I also think she's the type of person to have just a wall of clothes, because she'd want to see them all. She'd want to wake up and be like sharing Clueless and just look and bask in her fabulousness, because she's amazing. I do wish we had more options for shoes, because there's only like there's one object of like nice looking women's shoes that came with Dream Home Decorator, and you can only go through so many swatches of it, and then I'm like, I need more fancy stylish looking shoes that I can give to Cordelia Chase. And yeah, so that's the only room that has any sort of reference photo for it. So everything else is me improvising, basically, trying to fill this enormous house that I made, because she would live in an enormous house, but the problem with enormous houses is you have to furnish them. It's just something I learned very, very early on playing The Sims, that if you make a really big room, guess what? You now have to put things in it. It has to look like a real room. And it means that you'll sort of lay out a room and you'll be like, right, I'll put a bed here and a chair here and maybe something over here, and you end up with like so much empty space. So you have to really learn how to like clutter up a room and make different zones in the room. I love a good reading nook. The good thing about the way that I had to build this house is that I ended up with lots of small little sections of rooms, so I could use them as like conveniently placed bathrooms and reading nooks and sitting areas and things like that. Also, I cut out all the bathrooms in this build because when I got like all of my footage and sped it up, it was a lot longer than it is now, and even after like trimming down the big pauses where I had to like go and check things, I still had quite a lot. So there's just no bathrooms in this. Bathrooms are definitely the most boring thing to build, especially because do you really need to see how someone built a bathroom? It's toilet, sink, bath or shower, some bathroom decorations. I cut them out. They're all basically using the same plumbing. So, but bit of feedback that I got from my sister on one of my other videos is that there was the sort of outdoor area in Buffy's house in the back garden, and I cut that out of that one, and she said, oh, I really wanted to see that one. When I saw that you'd cut it out, I thought, oh, I wanted to see that. So there you go, sis. There is me building the balcony, and guess what? You also get to see me building the garden later. So that's for you. I left that in for you, because otherwise I would have just cut it out. I'm not sure whether I left in me building the laundry room, because much like bathrooms, laundry rooms are very boring, but I did put a laundry room up on the second floor. That is third floor, if there's any Americans watching, but second floor to me. And I think my favourite room in the house is the library, mainly because it's like one of my life dreams to have a library in like my own house, and I think this is just like a really cute library. It's just the sort of library that I would like if I ever managed to get one. So I gave it to Cordelia because, you know what, she deserves it. Oh my god, I've completely forgotten what I was going to say. Oh yeah, it was about laundry. If anybody does end up downloading this off the gallery, I do see that people do download these off the gallery, so if there's any actual overlap of people who watch the videos and download them on the gallery, feel free to get rid of all the laundry stuff. I know that sometimes it can get a bit tedious if you actually have laundry in your game. Oh, I didn't cut out the laundry room. Oh, I thought I did. It can get a bit tedious if you're playing with laundry, and some people just don't like playing with it. So feel free to just get rid of the laundry room. I don't know, put another reading nook in there, whatever you want to do with it. You don't have to leave it as a laundry room. I don't even think I put any laundry baskets in here, so you probably just end up with like clothes all over the floor. But you know what? At least I don't have Bust the Dust, because that came out and I thought, oh, I wonder what people will say about this, and every person spoke about how annoying the pack was, and I thought, well, I'm not going to get that. So if you're looking for a vacuum cleaner and you have Bust the Dust, there are none in this, because I don't have that pack, because I don't want it. Just like I don't want my wedding stories yet, because it's broken. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't want to get because they're still broken. Bust the Dust, one of them. That's why there's no vacuum cleaners, and there won't be any of the new stuff from My Wedding Stories in any of my builds, at least until My Wedding Stories is fixed. So please don't look for that. Like if I say, oh, I was really looking for this piece of furniture, and someone goes, actually it's in My Wedding Stories, yeah, I don't have it, and I won't, and for a while. So but I did get Dine Out shortly before I got this, so there's a lot more Dine Out in this than there might have been if I'd already had it, because I was like, ooh, stuff from Dine Out. That's why there's like, I think like a giant picture of a fried egg in the dining room, because I was like, oh, that's cute, I've never used that before from this new pack. Here's something that I was very excited to do, was the landscaping, because in the original house that this is based off of, I went on to like a real estate website. They had a really cool back garden area, and my interpretation of their back garden area works really well with the sort of it works well with the part of the world that the house backs onto, that sort of communal garden looking area. Obviously, once again, it's not an exact replica of this random house I found, partly because I don't want to just build a random person's house, because I don't know whose house it is. It could be a bit weird. What if you watched a speed build and you just saw someone who had just started building your house? Not that I think any really, really rich people are interested in watching my videos. Who knows? Maybe they are. Maybe really wealthy people from Santa Barbara are interested in Buffy the Vampire Slayer house building in The Sims. I don't know. I don't live in Santa Barbara, and I don't have a lot of money, so I wouldn't know. That was a tangent, but the way that the house is built, it backs onto this really nice area of land at the back of it, which sort of is reflected nicely in the fact that it backs onto that communal garden area. Also, something that I decided to add myself was a little garden-y feature thing at the front of the house. It's the kind of place where I might have put a fountain if fountains didn't annoy me in The Sims, because they're really loud. Like, once you'll build a really nice house and you'll put a fountain in it, and then you start playing in it, and all you hear is like because the fountain is just making all this noise, and it's really, really annoying. I also really wish that there were fancier cars in the game, because then I could put really fancy cars outside the front of this house. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to see more videos like it, more of me building the Buffyverse, then please consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to download any of my builds, you can find them all on the gallery. My ID is Sav1895. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.